Ever wanted to hide? You want to help, but you have to take care of your family first. Maybe this next paycheck I can support causes I love. Tell me, how does this sound? You shop, click a picture of a receipt, and pick someone you support while shopping for your family. Well, check out communitypayitforward.us. Hover your mouse here. Click on the Verified Given Partner button and shop with any partner that will satisfy your needs. Grab the receipt because every time you shop, a Community Pay It Forward mission partner receives anywhere from 80 to 90% of a referral. You can find the mission partners by going right here. Each mission has a QR code so you can upload your receipt. And that's it. Shop, click, and pick. Join the program. You shop with small businesses and support great people. Great people who need a little help. Or help to support the great people doing great things. Because with Community Pay It Forward, you don't have to hide anymore. Community Pay It Forward knows every small business is essential.
Born into a real fight wasn't right. Where can she dream here?
Hello, everybody. It's Wednesday, which means pACT, podcasting for all coming together. And it is the second Wednesday of the month, which means we have our great friend Les Simpson with us, who's we're going to be bringing up here in just a couple minutes. And we want to let you know, if you guys are doing something out there, if you know somebody who's doing some great things out there and they would like to get a little bit of recognition, I'm trying to use this thing called a mouth. I don't, sometimes it just runs so fast I lose control of it. But this little QR code right above me, they scan that and they can join us and they can tell their story. They can tell about what they're doing, and we can get them a little bit of notoriety as well. We really want to try to support as many small nonprofits are out there. We want to help as many people as we can. That is the Community Pay It Forward way. Just like the bear said. Wasn't there some stupid song? Oh yeah, the fox says or something like I don't know. So it's not metal, so I don't know the song very well. But I just want to let you guys know that we are in the very beginning of summer, as you guys can probably well tell, unless, of course, you're here in Colorado and then you just need a scuba suit. Got quite a bit of rain. Not raining today yet, but time for that to change. And the reason I say this is, hey, let's just be careful. I know that we've got many people who are out there that are excited because the warm weather, they're out there. But remember, when you're driving down a street, be careful. There are kids out everywhere. And I watched a kid almost get hit the other day, and I just could not believe that somebody was more worried about what's on their cell phone and driving fast to impress someone than watching out for a little kid. And you know, if you accidents are only accidents if it happens, you know, by mistake. You can't have an accident if you're on a cell phone and you cause something on, you know, if you're distracted, that's not an accident. So, well, we're going to bring up Les now. Les is a dear friend of mine, great partner. He is a platinum partner with us, which means that he is part of everything that we do, from Footprints Forward to the Chili Cook-Off, which I know I've been promising I'm going to announce that, and I promise I'm going to. We just kind of run into a problem with the date. We usually like to have it like the first weekend of November during a Denver football game. The only problem is this November, all of Denver's road games are at night. And, you know, we've never done it at night. I don't know if we're going to be able to. So, well, we're going to get that figured out. But anyway, without further ado, I want to bring on Mr. Les Simpson. Les, how you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
Oh, you know, I decided to go on ahead and give myself a new look. I was tired of the old one, so I went and got myself a brand new little strap for my arm to sit in. You know, so.
Who
Yeah.
did you hit?
Well, you know, not probably myself. I'll be honest with you. It's probably because, you know, I quit drinking quite a while back, and I think I run into more doors now than I ever did when I was drinking. I still think that my equilibrium from being sober is off, you know, and I run into more doors now than I ever did when I was drinking. So probably not a good thing, but you know, it is what it is. So
You bet.
Les, as we can see below, you've
Yes.
got a new website. Can you
Yes.
explain your new website, please?
Well, first off, to explain, for the folks that have seen me here before, I represent medical devices for practitioners. Everything from telling a person going to have a heart attack to back injury recovery to setting up the body so it's got the right magnetic signals. But the one big part that we've been missing, the missing link to all of this, has been exercise. And unfortunately, people do not exercise these days. They think driving a bike, walking in the neighborhood is going to solve the problem. But one of the things I'm going to be bringing on Dr. Mike here, and he's going to be explaining all of that is false. And it doesn't do what we want it to do. Unfortunately, we've been educated wrong. But because of the sciences of B3 Sciences, we're now going to be able to do it again in 15 minutes walking. I mean, to give you an idea, there's an exercise that Dr. Mike is going to show you that I do 4 minutes of lunges with these bands on. And I do 4 minutes of lunges, and I do 3 sets of 30 curls with these bands on. And in 2 weeks, I've lost an inch around my waist. And I've also gained an inch on my thighs and biceps. And man, that's all 12 minutes a day. And but we've got top sports professionals and so forth using this. And Dr. Mike will give you some history of it. It came from the Olympics. Actually, Japan developed it 50 years ago. And our Olympics got a hold of it in 2012 when they found out the secrets the Japanese were using. And so now many sports in the U.S. are using Olympics, NFL, and so forth that Dr. Mike will tell you about. But with no further ado, I want to introduce 2 people. And that's Dr. Mike DeBoard. And he used to own many different gyms, and he's a specialist in sports. and then Lana Stevenson, and she's a practitioner with a lot of history with this. She has a lot of clients that this has happened with. In fact, she has a phenomenal testimony herself of what's happened with a thyroid. So I'm going to turn it over to Dr. Mike and show us the magic, Dr. Mike.
Okay, well, thanks. It's great to be here. Enjoy always joining you and Lana. And Zach, it's great to meet you and present today.
It's great to meet you.
Les was saying, this is not a new technology, but it's new to the United States. Quick history. This was developed in Japan. We discovered it in the World Championship games in some athletes that everybody thought was doping. We come to find out they were doing this technology. We brought it here to the United States, and it was a big hit in athletes like Bodie Miller, Lindsey Vonn, Michaela Schifrin. But then we started doing it on everyday people and then injured people, seniors, veterans, people in wheelchairs, people who are injured, kids. And the results were just amazing. And it's literally a breakthrough in exercise, not a fad. This is something you're going to see everywhere, and every person is going to have access to in the next couple of years, especially veterans. It can just have tremendous benefits. I'll explain that in a presentation I'm going to bring up here on the screen. But before I do, I want to bring Lana in and see if she's got anything. I know she's got some things she'd like to share before I start.
Thanks, Dr. Mike. Yeah, so I met Dr. Mike through someone who'd done this presentation with me, and I've been a personal trainer for 35 years dealing with performance athletes, and I switched to dealing with cancer survivors and people with chronic disease like diabetes and longevity and lifestyle to prevent disease because my daughter was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer 9 years ago. And once I started using this with my clients, I changed my whole trajectory, and I became a cancer exercise specialist and a medical health exercise specialist. And I saw the most incredible changes in a diabetic client who, since she was using this daily, lost close to 100 pounds and started reversing the damage to her retina that had happened from diabetes. And I got my daughter using it, who wasn't even able to do anything. She's on a 6th round of chemotherapy, but even doing like 5 to 10 minutes a day, which is all she needs, she's living her life, with so much more energy and a much better quality of life. In fact, she's just bought herself an e-bike and she's riding around. I cannot believe that this is the same time while she's going through chemo. And I myself, as an athlete, an aging athlete, I was very competitive. Now at 63, after using these bands and running half the amount of time I used to, I'm running the way I was 10 to 15 years ago. But not just that, I'm running without pain and without any injuries. So I could go on forever and ever, but I'm going to hand it back over to Dr. Mike.
Well, thanks, Lana. We're going to talk about a thing called B3 bands, or BFR, blood flow restriction. Now, the first thing you're going to think is, we're going to cut off blood flow. No, completely different. A blood pressure cuff is wide and rigid, right? It's a big device that goes on the arm. It's designed to cut off blood flow so you can measure pressure. Look at this. This is much narrower. It is flexible. And we have a patent. These are multiple air chambers in here. So when I blow this up on my arm, and I'll show you, it's not a tourniquet. It's going to put individual pressure points around my arm to simply do this. The exiting blood flow is just going to slow down. That's all it's going to do. Now, as you know, people undergo surgery every day. They put a tourniquet on the arm and the leg. They cut off the blood flow and they do the procedure for 45 minutes. They release the tourniquet. They wake up in the recovery room. An hour later, they go home and everybody's fine. So this process of slowing down isn't even near what they do in surgery. So it's very safe. We have 5-year-old kids doing this, 90-year-olds doing it. Let me show you how easy this is because of our technology. Okay. So I'll show you on the arm. I simply slide it up my arm. Okay, I'll just tuck my arm against my chest here. I'll just reach over, grab the Velcro, and I'll snug it down, just snug. Now, what's snug mean? It's not tight. When I move back and forth, it just feels like a wristband. And when I slide it up and down, see that? Skin moves with it. So it's just nice and snug. Now, I take the pump, okay? There's a number on the band right here in the corner that tells you what to pump it up to. So I simply hook it up, snap it on, pump it up to 200, and I'm ready to go. What did I do? I simply slowed down this flow a little bit. That means this muscle, once it starts exercising, any of these muscles, even my chest, shoulder, back, biceps, triceps, forearm, it's going to have less oxygen. That gives you a mechanical advantage when there's less oxygen or the primary fuel. For example, you walk around the track, right? You're using a little bit of oxygen. What happens when you go run the stadium stairs? You're using more oxygen. You go from down here to up here, or high intensity exercise. Basically, you're using more oxygen than is available. If you stay down here, everyone, and do light exercise, you know nothing's going to change. Nobody's ever said, I went to the gym, I've been on the treadmill for 30 minutes for a month, I lost all my weight, I got my six-pack, I'm getting endorphins, I'm getting growth hormone, nobody ever says that. Because light exercise does not work, because you're not using enough oxygen. So here's the challenge, and I'm going to show you in a presentation. We have to go up here. We have to do high intensity. That's hard. It's difficult, especially for veterans, especially if you're injured. That's lifting heavy weights, banging the ropes, running uphill on a treadmill. That's really hard. What if we cut the oxygen in half? Now we wouldn't have to exercise at an 11. We'd only have to exercise at a 6. We can go for a walk in the bands, or go up the steps, or go on the treadmill, or just sit in a chair, or just stand up and sit down. If we're injured, even with assistance, sit down, stand up, and create an oxygen mismatch like we're doing high intensity exercise. You will feel the burn and the pump like you're doing 10 times the amount of work, and you'll get the results, but it'll be easy and it won't be sore. Let me bring up the presentation now.
Well, while you're bringing that up, Dr. Mike, if you don't mind, let me ask you this. I don't know if everyone's gonna feel like this, but when you talk about slowing down the oxygen, you kind of sit there, and at least I do, and I kind of sit there and go, "Oh, wait a minute. What about are there any fears of maybe somebody taking and passing out because they don't have enough oxygen?"
Nope, because we're only reducing oxygen in the actual muscle.
Okay.
Back at the heart, and we've got studies. Back at the heart, there's no decrease in oxygen. In the brain, there's no decrease in oxygen. So this is only reducing oxygen in the local muscle that we are working in. We've got studies on that.
Sounds great.
Can you see my screen? And
we can.
Yes.
Okay. So we call it the new way to exercise. And I believe it's going to revolutionize the way we help our veterans, especially the way we help them exercise. Here's what we all need to know, and this applies to everyone. It's all great when we're teenagers and in our early 20s, right? Because we have 3 important substances being naturally released at high levels. Nitric oxide. A lot of you have heard, take beet powder, take beet capsules to elevate nitric oxide. Well, it's not that easy, but nitric oxide is super important. Human growth hormone, everybody knows about that one. Endorphins, we all know about those. Look at that chart over there. By the time we're in our mid-20s, we're down to about half of what we had in our early teenage years. 30s, we're down to a third. So this natural release decreases with age. Add stress, decreases even more. Add injury or a physical challenge or potentially a major injury, it's going to decrease even more. So here we are in our 40s, 50s, and 60s, and we're dealing with low natural nitric oxide growth hormone and endorphins. And that's not good, because nitric oxide is what maintains healthy blood flow, maintains energy, vitality, and performance, maintains oxygen and blood flow to your joints, ligaments, tendons, fuels all your organs, including your brain and heart, fights atherosclerosis, fights off virus and bacteria, and is anti-aging. Growth hormone is the most powerful substance in the world. In your human body, there is no other therapy available that can have the impact that growth hormone can have. It can reduce the manifestations by aging of up to 5 to 15 years. It can reduce wrinkles, tight and saggy skin, decrease body fat, increase lean muscle mass, boost energy, rev up sex drive, make you look and feel decades, not years, but decades younger. And then endorphins. We have these our entire life, ready to fuel and bathe our brain, but you have to do vigorous exercise. You can't just go for a walk. Nobody goes for a walk and says, ooh, I got the runner's high. I got the gym buzz, right? Nobody goes in the gym and does a light yoga class or water aerobics and gets that buzz of endorphins. But when you do vigorous exercise, these endorphins interact with the receptors in your brain, and they reduce pain and trigger a positive feeling in the body similar to that of morphine, and has a huge, not small, huge impact on depression and anxiety. Now, look, we're supposed to exercise. We were developed as hunters and gatherers. Aging's the dry rot we program into ourselves by sedentary living. Exercise will be the number one factor in the quality of a veteran's life. They need to move. Not only do they need to move, they got to feel the burn. See, here's the myth, and it's a big, big problem in our society. We think movement is exercise. It is not. If you don't feel the burn, and you all know what the burn is, lactic acid. It's the difference between walking the track and running the stairs. It's the difference between going for a stroll on the treadmill in the gym and turning it up to 10 degrees incline and walking up a steep incline and feeling the burn. It's the difference between grabbing some light dumbbells and going through the motion, right? And using moderate to heavy weight and feeling the burn. You've got to feel the burn. And when you do, you elevate nitric oxide, growth hormone, and endorphins. If you don't feel the burn, you're not going to move the needle on these three important substances that are essential to high quality of life. I always say, no burn, no bueno. You're wasting time if you think your body's going to adapt in exercise. And then all the problems start, right? We got composition changes in our skin, body fat muscle changes, arthritis, rigidity, cardiovascular problems, blood sugar, big one, insulin resistance, hypothyroid, brain degenerative problems, bone density. Look what Harvard says, that muscle loss starts at 35 years old. We lose 1 to 2% per year. And this increases to 3% at 60. This equates to losing 4 to 6 pounds of muscle per decade. And when you lose muscle, there's a direct correlation between heart disease, diabetes, osteoporosis, arthritis, and brain degeneration are inevitable, and disabilities 4 times higher. This is why they say, seniors, veterans, you've got to keep muscle. Here's the problem. We believe, especially in our veterans and senior population, that low intensity exercise is going to solve a problem. It will not. Nobody's ever stretched their way to endorphins. Nobody's ever done calisthenics and released growth hormone. Nobody ever gets in the water and does some light exercises or walks the dog and releases nitric oxide. We think it's going to happen, but it doesn't. Now tell me, is this vigorous, going for a jog? There's no burn in going for a jog. Doing some stretching and some yoga, it's great. Don't want to pick on the yoga people. You're not going to get any endorphins or nitric oxide growth hormone. You're not going to move the needle. And doing light exercises at the gym, it's not going to move the needle. And this is what most veterans end up doing. Why? Because they're aging and they have physical challenges. I'm with you. I'll show you a slide of me in just a second. Here's why it doesn't work. Let's go back to what I explained to you in the beginning. You got to deplete oxygen. If you can't use more oxygen than's flowing, you'll never deplete oxygen. You'll never feel the burn. This is an infrared spectrometer on middle-aged men doing strength training, and they're not getting below 30% oxygen. They cannot exercise hard enough. They can't push heavy weights. Hence, there's not going to be any adaptation. Why? Because there's not enough burn. See, this is vigorous, right? deadlifts, squats, push-ups, bench press, curls, running the stadium stairs, you feel the burn. Look at the difference. This is an infrared spectrometer on people doing high-intensity exercise. Look at the oxygen dropping below 30%. And then you feel the burn, and then you get the nitric oxide and the endorphins and the growth hormone, the go-go juice, the rocket fuel, the anti-aging neuropeptides and hormones. And if you're a veteran out there and you've have challenges with lifting heavy weights, I'm with you. At 52 years old, I'm not a veteran, but I had already replaced 3 joints, 2 hips and a knee. I'm now almost 60 years old. I can't lift heavy weights anymore. And let me tell you something. It is depressing. It flat out stinks. I'm getting a belly. I'm losing my muscle. My joints hurt. I'm looking old. I'm not sleeping good. My mood's bad. I don't have vitality. Why? I'm operating on low nitric oxide growth hormone. I can't get that gym buzz anymore. I can't get those endorphins, right? How many veterans can maintain lifting heavy weights? Not many. How many people over 50 years old can? Very few. This is why this is such an exciting breakthrough. Let's go back to what I showed you at the beginning of this presentation. We put the bands on. It's a safe, gentle squeeze. It slows oxygen. Now, you're going to do something that you like to do. Go for a walk, lift some light weights, use some exercise tubing, do a little water aerobics, hit some golf balls, and you're going to quickly feel the burn in your muscles. And it's going to take a half the time. A lot of the time, it's 25%, meaning if you're used to going for cardio work for 20 minutes, in 4 to 5 minutes, you're going to have all the exercise you need. But you're going to be using a fraction of the weight, which means you're going to be able to do it. You might even be in a wheelchair or walker. You're going to be able to do it because it's such lightweight that anybody can be able to do this. And very quickly, you're going to create the oxygen drop. You're moving, but you've manipulated oxygen. Now you feel the burn. Here comes the nitric oxide, the growth hormone, the endorphins. And you talk about anti-aging. Here is what you will be telling us. Every one of you will say, I feel 10, 15, 20 years younger. Ask anybody who's doing the bands. Ask Lana, ask Les, ask over 30,000 people. I feel 10, 15, 20, 30 years younger. Feel like a kid again. Feel like a teenager. Yeah, you've got nitric oxide, growth hormone, and endorphins racing through your body like you were a teenager. And this is the exact study. This is what's going to happen when people exercise. Unless they can do super high intensity, very small release. Over here, this is the exact same men, middle-aged men, doing with bands on, BFR, light bicep curls. Easy. And they're getting a big release of nitric oxide. Most veterans have never experienced this. Let me tell you something. All I can tell you is you get this burst of nitric oxide, it's going to blow your mind. You're going to be like, whoa, man, you're going to feel like you're back in the gym, pumping iron, running a race, but you're not going to hurt. Imagine getting it every day. You're going to live a completely different life. Next, you're going to elevate growth hormone. Look at this study. Middle-aged men, 25 times increase in growth hormone. Let me put this in perspective. Most veterans probably never experience any growth hormone or only a little bit. What if you started producing growth hormone, doing light exercise like you are an Olympic athlete? Your body would change. You'd get younger. You'd feel younger. You'd sleep better. Your mood would be better. And then here comes the go-go juice, the endorphins. This is a study that was published in PubMed. BFR, blood flow resistance, causes systemic hypalgia, reduction of pain. How many veterans are in pain? Comparable to doing heavy load resistance exercise. What does that mean? Well, veterans can't do heavy load resistance exercise. Hence, they can't get endorphins and reduce pain. BFR and light weights produces the same effect. This exercise, BFR, prolonged the reduction of pain for not 1 hour, 24 hours in the exercising limb. There was a reduction in pain, plus a big activation of endogenous opioid production, endorphins, natural morphine. go-go juice, feel-good juice. Most veterans have never experienced this. Why? They can't do high-intensity exercise. What's going to happen when you start getting rocket fuel nitric oxide, better blood flow, growth hormone after exercise, and endorphins? You're going to live a different kind of life. Your outlook's going to be different. Your mental attitude, your positive outlook is going to completely change. How do I know? I've got 30,000 people of all ages, 5 years old to 90 years old. They all say the same thing. I feel better. I approach life better. I'm younger. I'm sleeping better. I'm more positive. I'm better in my relationship. I'm better at work. I'm better at sports. Yeah, the 3 most important substances in your body. How hard is it? 3 minutes. You heard Les earlier in the presentation say, I can do 3 minutes of arm work. Now, you want to do it with light weights, like these guys over on the left are, or exercise tubing. When you get the bands, we'll send you the exercise tubing. You don't need the gym. You don't need the equipment. You don't even need the weights. You just need exercise tubing, and you'll get the same benefit as those people over there lifting heavy weights. And then the leg exercises. No weights. Let me repeat this. No weights, no equipment. Hey, you can use a vibration plate like Amber's doing there, or you can just do lunges and squats. With the bands, in 3 to 4 minutes, your legs will feel like you just lifted heavy weight, but they won't hurt, and you will feel tremendous with this release of endorphins, nitric oxide, and growth hormone. Look at these seniors. Les said it. In a very short period of time, I've taken an inch off my waist, put an inch on my legs and my arms, just like Dr. Chris and John Wellman did. Now, how is that possible? Let me tell you how it's possible. You may not be getting a big natural release anymore of nitric oxide and endorphins and growth hormone, but it's still sitting in your body at 40, 60, and 90. It's still sitting there, ready for you to activate it. You never lose it until the day you die. So when you are able to hit the fatigue or the burn like Les has done and Dr. Chris and John and Lana, you're going to change like you were a 25-year-old. You're going to put on muscle. Everything is going to change. It's only necessary to hit the fatigue. And as I begin to teach people this all across the country, what you start to realize is weight, load, and time really aren't that important. All you got to do is create the burn. Look at this study. This is a muscle growth study out of Japan. Muscle size changes in 2 weeks, just like Les experienced, that typically takes 3 to 4 months of high intensity exercise, doing low intensity BFR. Strength improved in this study in these subjects, the same as lifting heavy weights. Look at this peer review in Frontiers in Physiology. Increased strength and hypertrophy in young and older populations. Greater post-exercise reduction in blood pressure. We have a lot of veterans dealing with blood pressure problems. Safe, and it regulates the fibrolytic pathway to help coronary artery disease. Remember back when I told you about nitric oxide and breaking down atherosclerosis? Here's the study. These experts concluded that this has promising benefits for starting to reduce coronary artery disease or atherosclerosis, and potentially preventing people from having cardiovascular accidents. Look at this. Some of our people who have paralysis and physical challenges. This is Scooter. He had a thoracic spine injury. He lost function in his calves, couldn't balance or jump. Now, once you're injured, if you can't fatigue the muscle, get the burn, turn on growth hormone, nitric oxide, endorphin, you can't restore function. And a lot of people, they get injured and they can no longer get the burn, get the pump, build the muscle, and restore the function. Now, after being paralyzed in his calves, he can balance on one leg and jump on one leg, and his muscles have started to grow. Look at Donna, quad amputee. She was losing muscle tone, increasing problems with blood pressure and blood sugar, can't do vigorous exercise. Well, of course, she's had 4 amputees. Give her the bands and the exercise tubing. She didn't even have to go out and buy any weights. We send her the tubing. She just hooks it up to the door. She does this right in her wheelchair. Now she's building muscle and strength. And you talk about a psychological lift. This was a lady who was depressed and would tell you she didn't know what she had to live for. Now she's able to build muscle and strength and improve function. You talk about a change in an outlook in somebody's life. Don is a perfect example. Here's another person, Dusty, multiple sclerosis, frustrated and depressed. Why? Every time she does light exercise, her multiple sclerosis flares up. Now, if you learned anything earlier, hey, what if we improve nitric oxide and blood flow and endorphins? It's going to reduce pain. But here's the problem. People who are injured, people who have autoimmune, people who have physical challenges, people who might have amputations, stuck in a wheelchair, in a cane, they cannot go get the endorphins. They can't do the exercise, or the exercise is too hard and it makes the problem worse. Dusty, within 2 weeks, was exercising again without pain. Big increase in stamina, endurance, strength, tremendous psychological boost. You're talking about a mom, a wife who's able to live the kind of life she wants now. Active, not taking pain pills, able to raise her kids. Look at this guy, Parkinson's. This is Don. Parkinson's, brain degeneration. He cannot build muscle anymore. Put the bands on him. He's now building muscle and strength. Tremors and function improved. You talk about a different outlook on life. Look at this guy, Homer. He was in a wheelchair. When I met Homer, I simply had him do one exercise, sit down and stand up. Now you see his wife grabbing him there. He cannot even get up, start to get up by himself. So his wife pulls him and then he pushes with his legs. After doing 3 sets of only 5, he felt the burn in his legs for the first time since he was a teenager. 2 weeks later, he's standing up on his own. There's no miracle here. This is how the human body functions. If you can create fatigue or the burn in the muscle, which is very difficult, if not impossible, for people with physical challenges. There's Homer on the right side. Look at him standing up and down there, all by himself, standing up and down. Now look on the left side here. Here's the exercise we have him do. Wheelchair, doesn't matter. Just help him stand up. Look at his wife grabbing him and pulling him up. Has not stood up by himself in over 6 years. Look at this on the right side. All by himself. Standing up. Had not stood up for 5 years. Took 2 weeks. Now, how's that possible? It's not if you can't create fatigue and muscle. If you can't create fatigue and lactic acid, you're not going to see those changes.
I'll tell you this, Dr. Mike, that truly is beautiful right there. Just seeing those results in that gentleman right there. I think that, all those stories are wonderful, but watching that story right there,
Yes.
Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you, but
No.
I just, that speaks
Yes.
volumes to me. My mother has bone degeneration and stuff, and the muscles, unfortunately, have gotten quite weak. So this is something that definitely, hey, there you go.
There's the study.
I definitely want to learn a little bit more about this. So, but sorry for interrupting you. I just wanted to.
No, I'm glad you did.
there.
I'm glad you did and told me the impact. Now, when you start increasing nitric oxide and endorphins, growth hormone, your cardiovascular system gets younger. Your blood sugar starts to get regulated. This is a study out of Scandinavian Journal of Medicine, that BFR is beneficial for people, pre-diabetic, diabetic, who may not be able to sustain. There it is. Doesn't say can't go for a walk. Doesn't say people who can't do yoga. It says people who can't do high intensity exercise. So after this presentation, don't be fooled. You are not going to move the needle with walking and light exercise. It'll be therapeutic. It'll be fun. It might be social. You're not going to move the needle on adaptation in your body. You've got to do high intensity. Here's a study on 3 weeks of walking. Females in Japan walking, 35 times increase in bone-specific alkaline phosphatase. Now, you got to be saying, come on, Dr. Mike, how's that possible? Let's go back to what I said. Adaptation from physical exercise has nothing to do with weight, load, and time. Those are tools. Your body does not go, whoa, that's a lot of weight. I'm going to strengthen your bones. Your body responds to the change in the metabolic stasis of the muscle, or more important, lactic acid and drop in pH. So you can lift heavy weights, produce lactic acid and strengthen bones, or you can do BFR with lightweight, produce lactic acid and strengthen bones. It's irrelevant which one you do. You just got to produce the lactic acid. So what you're starting to see is we're able to take people who can't do the required exercise and do it. Brain health. This is a big one. When you do BFR, it increases cerebral blood flow and releases brain-derived nootropic factor. I can't tell you how many people we have who have seen improvements in cognitive function, memory, tremors, sleeping, brain function, focus. Now, we're not going to cure Parkinson's and all those conditions, but you talk about an improvement, huge improvement, and this is proven in science. There's an actual study on this. Who's using it? Rick Burkholder, Kansas City Chiefs, on his two-time Super Bowl champions, on his world-famous quarterback, on his family. Look at these USA Olympic teams: ski and snowboard, swimming, volleyball, gymnastics. The #1 pickleball player in the world. We probably got some pickleball players that are watching this. We have a way for you to simply put the bands on in the first 5 to 10 minutes of pickleball. Don't have to change your exercise. Don't have to lift weights. Don't have to start riding a bike. Just put them on. We even have a golf program. We'll show you how to take the bands with you out to the golf course, go out to the range, and in 10 minutes, stimulate nitric oxide growth hormone and endorphins, all while playing golf. Well, soon, everybody's going to be exercising the new way with B3 bands. And with that said, I want to stop the presentation now, and we'll go back to questions. I'm going to stop the sharing and pass it back off to our awesome host so we can discuss it a little bit further. Zach, back to you.
Yeah, one of the things that I want to talk to you about, you were just showing some of the different exercises. One of the things that I love to do, one of the exercises that I, with the TBI that I suffered after my motorcycle accident, one of the things that I really enjoy doing is playing racquetball, because it helps me focus.
Mm-hmm.
I can watch the ball. Plus, it's fun, you know. And I guess when I say racquetball, I hit the ball and try not to let it hit me in the face is what I do. I don't really play with rules, but, you know, it's a way that I feel like I can get moving and motivated. It helps wake up my brain a little bit. I fractured my ankle in 2020, and I did quite a bit of damage there. Where would I place this band to help build the strength back up in my ankle?
Upper leg, on your upper thigh, same place for everybody.
Oh, okay.
I'll show you right here how easy it is to do. So we just take the leg band here and we put it on the thigh right here, put the Velcro through, snug it down, hook up the pump, couple squeezes. There I go. I'm ready to go.
Wow.
Ready to go. I can walk, I can jog, I can do squats. Easiest thing to do for people who have physical challenges, look at this. I'm just going to get in this squat position and hold it. I'll balance myself. In 30 seconds, I'm going to turn on the burn in my legs just sitting in a skier position. Or I can do what Homer was doing. I can have somebody help me sit down and stand up. That's it. You get that burn going. Here comes the strength. And then from there, you can start adding more. But Les will tell you, 4 minutes. That's all you need. He does lunges, squats. You can do this on a rebounder. A vibration plate is awesome. A lot of people have vibration plates. You can get in the water with them. Our bands are the only ones that are waterproof. USA Olympic swim team use them. You can go out on the racquetball court, you know, and do some movements and some light squats and lunges, do a wall sit, and enjoy it while you're playing racquetball.
What about like it also helps the effectiveness of, let's say, a treadmill or a stationary bike, any of those, yes?
Well, what did we just learn? Doesn't matter what the movement or exercise or tool is. If you don't feel the burn, nothing's going to change. So absolutely. It's very difficult to get on an exercise bike or a treadmill unless you are one of those models on TV, then you can climb the hills, right? The Peloton hills, right? Yeah. You never see a 55-year-old guy, like 59-year-old guy with 3 joint replacements on the Nordic Track commercial, do you? Right? It's always the chiseled people that are dripping in sweat. They can go get the burn. I can't. Now I look like I can, but I've got 3 joints replaced. If I go run sprints, do heavy weights, I'm heading for big problems. I'm going to hurt. Probably won't be able to walk. Might tear up one of my implants. So, what's great for me, like many people who are injured, I feel like I'm in my 30s. I can function. I'm not going to go run the marathon, but I mean, I can go do anything I want to do. I can travel, hike, feel young, feel great, have energy, but I can do the exercise that I need to do with the bands.
So if you put the bands on, say, and get on a treadmill and just bump up the elevation, go for 2 or 3 minutes, you're going to get the burn. You'll be done. You'll be done 3 minutes, Zach.
Wow, that's amazing. So people who have, like I was talking to my mom with her bone degeneration, helping to strengthen those muscles around is going to slow down that bone degeneration, will it not?
Yes.
Well, let's go one step further, Zach. Bones don't stay right here. They either get weaker or they get stronger. So once we get into our 40s and 50s, right? So what's required to strengthen bones? Bones do not, people think I have to mechanically load the bone. No. See, that's another myth. You have to use load to create the hormonal response. Let me tell you where this comes from. I create the burn in my muscles. I can do it with light exercise, BFR. I can do it with heavy weights. Now I get a post-exercise release of growth hormone. That goes down into the liver and stimulates bone-specific alkaline phosphatase, which turns on bone density. The body basically says, hey, Zach, I know what you're doing. You're working those fast twitch muscle fibers. You're doing vigorous exercise. I'm going to make you better. That's what the body does. I'm going to adapt you so you can do it better next time. So I'm going to strengthen your bones. I'm going to give you some growth hormone. I'm going to make your muscles and ligaments and tendons more pliable, right? If you don't, the body goes, you're not doing nothing, and it just basically just rots. So the body is an adaptative machine. You've got to stimulate it. The myth that we need to break out there is that, number one, I can just go do a walk or 30, 40 minutes exercise. Time means nothing. It's irrelevant. Les just told you, 4 minutes, he's put an inch on his arms, right? So time's not the factor. The factor is go get the burn. That's what we've got to teach people. We got to teach these veterans. We got to find a way for you to engage in fatiguing exercise that you can tolerate. And BFR is perfect. And when you get to try it, Zach, it's going to blow your mind. Landon and Les will tell you. We'll have Les come back on here. Once you use the bands, Les, tell them. I mean, you don't go back to the old way, do you?
In fact, one of the things that really surprised me is I do a gym called Gym Vertical. Only takes 25 minutes. Usually by the end of it, I'm very much breathing hard. Since I've done the bands, I can't believe how easy it is. And there's another exercise where I take and lay down with all of these bands, which is equal to a couple 100 pounds. I mean, I've got to increase it about 25% because it's so easy now. And that's one of the things that Dr. DeBoard has mentioned is a lot of the athletes, when they start, they're skeptical. And so he has them do the bands one day and their regular procedure the second, and then bands. As he said, give me 30 days. Well, usually after about 2 weeks, they find out they're blowing through their regular routine, and they actually increase the bands day and reduce the routine day because the power and the growth was coming from the bands. So it's just unbelievable. And my wife has noticed that her muscles are much more operational I mean, she said it's like they're thicker. And one of the things I told my doctor today is one of the things I've noticed is I'm standing up straighter without trying.
Definitely.
Because the muscles are becoming much more stronger in my back. And I'm not exercising my back. I'm just doing the lunges. And lunges 4 minutes. And then the curls, 3 sets of 30. And then I leave the burn on for 4 minutes. And then I take everything off.
See, and that's the whole point. So like even with running, I'll train half the time with the bands on. And then when I go out, my performance is so much better. But because I'm not pounding my body, I'm not getting injured. I have no pain. And that at 63, I'm like, it's the first time I've been able to do this in like 6 years. It's mind blowing.
That is amazing. You've used the word, and the only reason I'm asking this question is because I know that there's a lot of people who hear the word growth hormone. These are natural growth hormones. These are not anything that's outside your body that you're putting inside your body. This is all naturally produced growth hormone, correct?
Right. And I get this question all the time. Oh, I've got cancer. Oh, I've got this. There is not one study anywhere in any published medicine or journal that natural growth hormone from exercise has a negative effect on the body, unless you have hyperpituitarism. That's different. You just got way too much, and everybody knows who that is. But that's 1% of the population. So this, oh, I can't exercise, I've got cancer. Let me tell you the actual facts now. 72% reduction in the most common forms of cancer in people who do vigorous exercise. I've got the study. I'd be glad to send it to you. So you have a 72% less chance of getting the most common if you're doing vigorous, not going for a walk. That's not going to move the needle. If you're doing vigorous exercise, outcomes, new study on people going through chemotherapy that are able to do short bouts of vigorous exercise, significant improvements in outcome. It's the opposite of this myth out there. Ooh, growth hormone, bad. No, growth hormone is the most powerful substance in the world. Lana, I know you were going to show something there.
There's this doctor, Catherine Schmitz. She's been studying cancer for 20 years and high intensity exercise. She's written a whole book through all the different stages of treatment. And there are different ways for different types of cancers and different surgeries. There are different modalities that you can and can't use. However, high intensity exercise, however you choose to do it, is absolutely safe and encouraged.
Yet, are there any drawbacks from using these bands? Have you had anybody who has struggled with the bands at all?
Well, occasionally somebody overdoes it, right? And they're sore, or they're tired, or they get a bruise. I mean, I've got 32,000 people. Nobody's ended up in the hospital. Nobody's, but think about this. If you're not used to exercising and you go to the gym and you overdo it, it's going to be a rough day tomorrow.
Yep. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Occasionally, but that's rare. Here's a big one. It's rare that you ever get sore doing this. You might get sore the first time or the second time, but Les is building muscle in 4 weeks like he's powerlifting. Les, how many times have you been sore?
First couple days.
First couple days.
Yeah.
In contrary to, if he goes and lifts heavy weights today to micro tear muscle, he's going to be sore. It used to be, if I'm not sore, no pain, no gain. Remember that?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That's out the window. It's no pain, all gain now. It shouldn't be any pain. There shouldn't be any, except for your first time or two. I can go and do the craziest, hardest BFR workout. Now, I don't go till I pass out, but I mean, I go pretty far. And I mean, I don't even feel it the next day. Here's a big one, Zach. We're not micro tearing muscle. See, people think you got to tear it. No, sorry. That's just a side effect of using mechanical overload to create lactic acid. That's all it is. So one method, mechanically overload the muscle, micro tear it, create lactic acid, build muscle. Another method, use BFR half the weight, don't micro tear anything, create the burn, build the muscle, and you actually build it faster.
Okay. I got some beautiful friends who are expecting children. This is a wonderful, wonderful way for women who are going through pregnancy to work their bodies without.
Well, they want to talk to their doctor.
Yeah.
Right. We always tell, look, if you're going through pregnancy, go talk to your doctor. Okay. And we provide all kinds of studies to share with the doctors. But if the doctor says, I don't want you doing high intensity, vigorous exercise, you shouldn't do BFR, but they don't say that very often, right? Especially with women who have already been doing vigorous exercise. Now, if a lady gets pregnant, she's 3 months, first try, second try, we're not going to take her in the gym and put her in a 45-minute CrossFit, are we? Right?
No,
right.
no.
So we're not going to put the bands on and go get a crazy burn on her. We're going to let her get through her pregnancy, right? When she's ready to come back. I can tell you the women postpartum do this. You're shocked how
my
fast.
daughter postpartum, she's an aerialist. It took her like literally 2 to 3 weeks. And she was blown away. She was so skeptical. But right after the baby, she was nursing, and she bounced back super fast.
Well, Lana, you kind of opened up where I wanted to go with this next. And one of the things that we really focus on is the mental health aspect. You look good, you feel good. You got better mental health, right?
Way better. And I do have clients who literally couldn't get out of bed, hated exercise, like 5 minutes a day. And I have got them so hooked now. They feel like a different person. It's like, and they're slowly reducing their antidepressants and anxiety meds because they're able to get that the health in their brain and the blood flow, and just a whole different outlook on life. And socially also, it's helped them tremendously. You know, it's just been such an honor for me to see such a change in so many people who hated exercise and are now using it instead of taking the drugs. It's wonderful.
And Dr. Mike, how long has this been around again?
Well, it was discovered by accident in Japan in the 60s. It took Dr. Sato about 40 years to perfect it. So it really became popular in about 2005 to 10 in Japan. We found it in 2013 in the World Championship Games, and the Japanese athletes brought it over here with a group. I'm going to give all that credit to Dr. Jim Stray-Gunderson, our science advisor. He's one of the pioneers. You know, I joined him about a year after it was brought here. And then it took some years. We first thought Olympic athletes. Dr. Jim pioneered Olympic athletes, and he started working on recreational athletes. Then I came on board and realized, hey, this is everybody, right? We launched B3 Sciences in October of 2019. And I didn't have the Los Angeles Lakers, the Kansas City Chiefs, Mark Wahlberg, I didn't have all this, right? I didn't have hundreds of doctors. Didn't have awesome people like Les and Lana. So this was a big push up the hill to get people to even try it. Now, we're 3.5 years later, we got over 30,000 people, and this thing's on a rocket ship. It's going to go it's going to go all across the country. You mean you walk in a PT center, 20% of the therapy centers have now. Every NFL training room is doing this. I mean, that'll tell you what you need to know right now. Every NFL training room is doing this on their athletes, and it started in rehab. Now what they're seeing is they're taking it out. They've slowly started taking out to the weightlifting, right? Because you're changing paradigms. But the older guys are all saying, I don't want to lift heavy weights. Give me the bands. So now all of a sudden you're seeing this big wave of older NFL guys in the league that have switched over to BFR. Tell you who's coming next, the younger guys, right? But the big population, Zach, is the people out there, the 258 million adults that need exercise. 75% don't have an exercise program. 2 out of 3 are overweight. 35% are in pain. I mean, we got a lot of people to help.
Okay. Yeah. Well, as we have discussed, I do have quite a bit of experience with physical therapy. It's basically become part of my life for the last 9 years since the motorcycle accident. Not always a lot of fun. So any substitute to that, I'm all in on this. Lana, you really wanted to delve into some of the mental aspects about this.
Well, I did a little bit of research, on top of my experience, and everything I've read. Physical exercise, high intensity physical exercise, can increase the levels of BDNF, which is your brain derived neurotropic factors. Non-pharmaceutical remedies to help with all these different brain functions and free of side effects, because so many of the pharmaceutical products come with side effects. Most of them do, and especially anti-anxiety meds, antidepressant meds. It's so I did quite a bit of and there's nothing mind-blowing other than time after time after time again. Each study shows from way back 2005 to now, how high intensity exercise, that's the big piece missing. And the more the common thread right now that's happening in the medical industry, it's not about treating sick patients anymore. It's about preventing. And the key is about lifestyle. It's exercise, it's nutrition, and it's mental health and socialization. And if you can put those things into your life, these things can be prevented naturally. So, that's kind of the philosophy I live by and work with my clients, and how I lived my life, and has enabled me to cope with my daughter's cancer in the best way possible. I can't tell her what to do, but I can guide her, and I see the changes.
One of the things that I've always felt is one of the reasons why I love racquetball is that if I'm feeling tense on a day, we've always heard about going out and smashing whitey when you're going out to hit the golf ball all over the place. It's a good way to get frustrations out.
It's not even just that. There's much more being done there. It's the BDNF that is being activated, but even ping pong. They're using ping pong as prevention for diseases like Alzheimer's. So it's the interaction with other people. It's the concentration of the ball. It's not just getting your frustrations out. That's part of it. But it goes much, our bodies can do so much more.
Wow. This is fantastic. I mean, I've never, and I've seen more use throughout my 9 years of recovery. I've seen more use of bands and of different things, but I've never seen a band in this aspect. I've never seen one used like this. So, and it is weird, because if you would just kind of walk into this conversation, when we were talking about, like I was asking you earlier, the oxygen part, the some of the ways that are said, it could confuse you and scare you a little bit. But after this direction and after these instructions, I think what you guys have done is you've really helped settle any fears.
I work with my mom, who's 85 years old, twice a week for half an hour. And we do 15 minutes, with stretching in between, let her rest, have some water. We do upper body, lower body, maybe a total of 4 to 5 minutes on each. And she had a frozen shoulder. We've been doing her rehab exercises with the bands on. She's almost got full range of motion within 3 weeks. It's almost like magic.
Yeah, that's great. Why don't we start talking about how people can get a hold of these? Where do we need to go?
Well, I'll pass it off to Les. He's got the plan for helping people.
Well, if you want to go back to the presentation and show the money and the
okay.
Then we'll talk about that, because this is unbelievable. I mean, for $449, you get 30 days coaching. You get all of the exercise bands, so you can stay home and do it all. You get a 30-day money back guarantee. And so you basically get a test drive at all. And so there it is. And we have financing through PayPal for about $80 a month. And so everybody can try this out and see for themselves that this works. And it's kind of like Dr. Mike has said. He said the only ones he's got back is a band that didn't work, and he replaced it because the air inside of it wasn't working right. But that's what you get. And you can get a bag for $30 to carry it around. And you now have exercise wherever you want to go, fly, any hotel room. And again, 12 minutes is all I do. Questions, Zach?
Yeah, and it comes with, it shows here it comes with 2 bands. So you get to hook them up to both arms, both legs.
Yeah, 4 bands. Yeah.
Oh, 4 bands. Okay.
Yep, it comes with 2 leg bands and 2 arm bands, Zach. Okay, so you get 30 days of free coaching. So here's a big one. People say, sounds great, I don't know what to do. We're going to send you an email, show you what to do. We're going to give you an instruction starter video. We're going to give you all kinds of ideas to work out. If you don't understand it, you simply email your coach. Say, hey, I'm having trouble. I don't feel the burn. I don't know. What about this? We make sure everybody knows how to use them. As Les said, you get the exercise tubing, so you don't need the weights. If you got multiple people in the house, you get $80 off your second set. We'll coach them both. Okay. And then if you want to extend that to 12 months, here's what most people do. When you buy the bands, you're going to have an option to become a member. And it's only $49. So $4 a month, you get 12 months of coaching. You get the mobile app on your phone, which has all the education and workouts. You get invited to 3 presentations a week. Last night we did senior. Last week we did kids. We did weight loss. We did blood sugar. You're always invited to all these special presentations. And hey, if you know some people you'd like to share it with, you can share it right from your mobile phone. So best, most popular programs, $449 for your bands, and then the $49 membership. It's 30-day money back guarantee. You have nothing to lose. If you don't love it, send it back. We'll even refund you the mobile app. You're just out the shipping fee. As Les said, you can get started for about $80 a month, 6 payments over 6 months. There's no interest. PayPal will even give you $20 off your order. So if your order is $500, you're only going to pay $480. So this gives people away on a tight budget to get started with PayPal. And I want to make sure people know, hey, if you're watching this, get your phone out, take a quick snapshot. Join us on Facebook. There's over 3,000 people every day. There's a new story. So we've got camaraderie there, people sharing what they're doing with the bands. One day we'll have hundreds of thousands of people in that group. But that's a great way for you to just join in with all the other people. So go to Facebook, search groups, and then go to IMB3. And we've got a big support department. Les will give you a website where to order. But if you've ever got any questions, just email us at support@b3sciences.com. We're here to answer any questions that anybody has. So very easy to get started, very easy to get plugged in, and you've got support every step of the way.
And also there's some meal replacements, a B-start in the morning to accentuate the HGH, and also a meal replacement. Now I've been taking a protein powder for 3 years. My wife is a clinical nutritionist. She's had me on it. But now I'm going with their breakfast and their meal replacement, and it's actually saving us $20 a month, which I thought was interesting. But the other thing is, if we have any golfers on this video, we have professional golfers that have increased their yardage by 30. I mean, can you imagine just by 15 minutes of exercise a day, increase your yardage by 30? And so if you have any golfers on here, it's time to beat your buddy with the bands.
Well, here's my question, though. Does it help you hit it straight?
That you need a coach for.
So, yeah, it because I know that, I mean, I can drive it. That was prior to the the shoulder issue, but I could drive it, but hitting it straight, yeah, it's another thing. So we are looking at the Facebook page right here. Do be careful because there is another IMB3 on there. And so what I'm going to do is in the comments right now, I'm going to place the actual link so you can go to the comments and you can download it. There is one other IMB3 and it's not the one that you're looking for. So this is what the this is the one that you're looking for. So just go to groups IMB3 and you're going to find it. So this has been very, very entertaining, very educational. I love this. So and Les, as we've been telling people forever, one of the best things about this is that if they come through you, we're also going to be helping someone that they care about because you're part of the Community Pay It Forward program. You're
correct.
Part of our family.
And this is also a business opportunity. You can tell your neighbors at it, and when they buy it for $449, you get $80, and it goes 8 levels. And so this is the start of a huge business opportunity. And so love to talk to you about that. If you want to contact me at les@b3sciences.com or email lsimpson@wellnesstechplus.com or cell phone 303-579-6881. We can discuss it further, but if you want to go to the website and buy now, and then it says member 49, and then you get it all, and then you could actually start talking to your friends. And after tonight, I'm sure you probably have quite a few friends that came to mind that needs this. So let's help them all. So.
You know, one of the things that I was thinking of immediately, and Les, I'll be giving you an introduction to it. There's a gentleman that we're trying to help. I don't know what the chances are of an immediate connection, but I know that this is something he works with a lot of younger athletes in New Jersey, athletes that are less privileged and they struggle. So this is a chance for them to, instead of having to go out and focus on getting into a giant weight room, this can help them out.
That's exactly. So interesting. I spoke with a man in New Jersey this morning who deals with karate. Karate is the means that he uses, and he has issues, health issues, and physical issues, and he deals with children who have certain challenges through karate, and he's looking into this as well to help the kids that he works with and himself.
Yeah, and
especially if a nonprofit, gets companies to donate the $449 for the children and so forth. And I'm sure there's a lot of companies out there would like to help these, underserved youth when they know something will really work, to teach them how to fish instead of giving them a fish.
Right.
Right. Well. Again, I mean, I can definitely, you've got my interest peaked. I know that. Like I said, the video of the gentleman standing up was just amazing to me because, I watch my mom every day struggle to stand up, and she struggles even more to stay standing up. And, there's been a lot of leg issues there. So I think this is something that we're definitely going to be looking into. But
depending upon your arm and leg size, to let you know, my wife and I use the same bands. So you only need to depend upon your arm size. Now leg is pretty standard, 1 and 3, 1 on the arm and 3 on the legs. But we easily can use the same legs. On the arm, mine's almost to the point where I can't use the 1 anymore, especially since I've gained an inch on each bicep. But to start with, you might be able to use 1 set for you and your and then your mother also. Everybody can use the same set because it's only 12 minutes a day.
Well, I know I'd have to get 2 sets because my wife's arms are much bigger than mine. She'd beat me up. So, you know, there's we definitely have to get the 2 sets there. So she's in much better shape than I am. So did any of you guys have anything else that you wanted to? Let me just ask you this: if you were talking, in which we are, if you're talking to somebody right now, what is the one thing that you can testify it's going to help them improve? Just the top thing that pops in your mind, Lana.
That is a tough question because it helps everything from sleep. For me, a big thing has sleep, being sleep, and being able to do what I love to do without getting injured. Just total well-being. Total well-being. It's a really tough question because it helps everything. The biggest thing for me has been sleep.
Well, it's a great answer. Dr. Mike? Oh, you're on mute.
It's right in the book I wrote, Zach. Feel 20 years younger.
Yeah.
By the way, if you do the $49 membership, we send you 5 of these books. For you to share it, all you got to do is flip it over, write your information out, hand somebody the book. That story I just went through, Zach, and I know you'll appreciate, that story is why people join. They've got to hear about 20 minutes. It's safe. I can do it. There's people like me doing it. Somebody's going to be there to help me. I don't have a risk, right? I know what it costs. I got a money back guarantee. It's all right here in this book. Go back 20 minutes, 20 years and 20 minutes a day. It'd be important to see maybe if Les sends you one of these. This is how we get the message out. So when people join, if they do the 49, we'll send them 5 of these. Once you pass those out, you're probably going to make a bunch of commissions. Get 30 more, and you're probably going to make a lot of commission. More important, you're going to help a lot of people. So I think it's important that Les gets you one of these so he shows you, Zach, how easy it is for you to, because you've got enough information now, Zach, you can have a 1 or 2 minute conversation, right?
Oh, yeah.
Then you're going to need either a video off our mobile app, which, by the way, I'll record this veterans video for you. It'll be right on the mobile app so people can share it. And Les, make sure you get with me so we get that link on there.
You bet.
You've also got the book. So these are the tools that we use so that we can get the message out.
Well, and I'm just going to beg anybody that if you're just now joining us, please go back and watch the presentation that Dr. Mike gave. And he's going to have a couple instances of people who have had ability impairments and struggled. And there's one with a video of a gentleman that just really touches my heart because it reminds me of my mother, who truly struggles just to stand up because, you know, she's had to have toes removed from her feet, so her balance is off, and the strength in her legs because of all the pain and everything. And so it's very, to me, that right there was kind of a selling point for me, in which, you know what, everybody's going to see something in this that I think is a yes. A benefit to them. Lana, I think that I want to give you our love with your daughter and her continued fight. I wish nothing but the best for you. And I greatly appreciate how you're bringing up the fact that this can be something to help someone out mentally, because, you know, there is really nothing more frustrating when you go to work out and you come home and you're like going, man, I worked out, I'm in pain, but I don't see anything.
Yep.
Yeah. And that's actually probably the biggest thing for me, is actually watching my clients. And for the first time in a very short amount of time, I can see change mentally and physically and medically. That has been, like, in the last 8 months that I've been using it, that has been the biggest thing for me. Being able to, you know, you can't quantify it, but you can see it. And you actually can quantify it, but not scientifically. You know, I don't have the equipment.
Well, like I said, I wish you, and your daughter the very best of luck, and I'd like to have you on again some other time so we can hopefully talk about the improvement. But Dr. Mike, great presentation. I appreciate it. You guys, Les, again, you're always miraculous, my friend, bringing on some of the best guests that we got. Working through some of the tough things in life, and that's what this really is. So, Les, I'm going to offer you the last words. Or
sure. Well, the two things that I would say about the bands, number one is if you really want to transfer fat into muscle, this is the way to do it. And the second is if you have a sport that you really want to excel in, this will do it. And so that kind of covers it all. If you're senior and are tired of your belly, this can help. If you want to show your friends that you're better at sports than them, this can help.
Well, I'll tell you this, that'd be kind of nice, with a couple of my sons. They love picking on the old dad every once in a while. So it'd be nice to, take and show them up every once in a while. So yeah. I'm kind of looking now. I'm doubly motivated. So, but we need to make mention, Les, one more time. Let's talk about the new website.
Sure. The Les at B3 Sciences is for these bands. If there are any practitioners on here that want to look at back injury recovery, help your clients determine if they have a heart attack within the next 6 years, or to completely set up their body the way it was designed with magnetic fields. I work with practitioners on that. But this is everything. Everybody can do this. But those practitioners, when they have people in their office that they see is overweight and they know they can't stand the pain of exercise, they can now do this. So this is the door opener.
So this is also great for like personal therapists and I think that this could be something that would be very, I just see the benefits of this, and we're Les, I'm gonna be introducing a few people to you that I thought of. Your email address has stayed the same though. It is still
That's
Simpson at Wellness
Tech Plus. Yes.
Okay. And
stayed the same, of course. 303-579-6881. And love to talk to anybody. And again, if you are a entrepreneur and you want to get in on the bottom of a business, I mean, like everybody says, they would like to have got in Amway when it started. Well, this is the next Amway. It will be international. By the way, we are international. That we can ship this anywhere in the world except for the countries where the feds say we can't, like Russia and North Korea and so forth. Otherwise, South America, whatever. You got friends there, let's help them.
All right. And we once again invite you to check out the Facebook page, which is Facebook groups I am B3. So once again, that's facebook.com/groups I am B3. Well, you guys, thank you so very much. Fantastic. I wish you guys all the best of luck. I invite you guys to rejoin us again here in a couple months, and let's see how well things are progressing.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Zach.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful. I appreciate it.
No problem. Thank you, guys. All right, Les, thank you again for your guest for this evening. Again, my friend, such a great job. I think you got a real wonderful program here, and I'm excited for this.
Good. And I'm excited to talk to you about the connections that you have if you want also to be for the business. So
yep, I will be getting with you on those tomorrow. So, but I appreciate it. All right, Les, well, you enjoy your dinner, and we will see you here in about a month, even though I'll be talking to you about here in a couple hours.
All right.
But thank you very much, my friend.
Bye-bye now.
Goodbye. Les Simpson, Wow. Like I said, that was amazing to me, because it really is. It's hard to watch someone, you know, and the one thing that they look, there are a couple factors in life that you can't get away from. And one is, no one beats father time, father, mother time, whatever you want to call it. No one beats father and mother time. Okay. It takes it out of your body. You know, to be honest here, I'm in my 50s now, not near as easy to walk as it was 10, 15 years ago. I am obviously, in which I know I joke about it all the time. I know a lot of people don't like it, but I do enjoy it. But you know, I'm overweight. And this is a way that I can take, and I can do the exercises that I like to do. Okay. I love going out and smashing that little blue ball against a wall and listening to my upbeat music and sitting there and just being with my thoughts and working my mind and my movement out at the same time. I think that this is obviously, that's something that's a little more hard, a little more difficult to do right now, but yeah, is what it is. So I do want to thank everybody who was with us tonight, Lana, Dr. Mike, and Les. I'm really excited to learn more about that. Again, visit Les at les.b3sciences.com, les.b3sciences.com. And you can always give them a call at 303-579-6881, 303-579-6881. And remember, when you call Les, when you do business with Les, you get to go to Community Pay It Forward. You get to look through the mission partners, find something that touches your heart, because Les is going to donate to them in your name. You choose. We don't. You choose. So a couple things that I need to say before I'm going to play a really quick video in reminder of something that just happened with the government. And no, it's not the big thing that just happened with the government. This is something else. So if I just scared the hell out of you, don't worry. I'm not talking about that. So, but one, I want to thank Miss Chicky Howe for playing Footprints Forward, which will be airing as soon as we go off the air here in about 33 minutes. This last episode. And please look, this episode, we've got two guys who have built a friendship and built a support system for each other. And it's so neat to see that, you know what, these guys, they don't joke around with it. If you know, if one of them's sitting there and he's saying, hey dude, you're screwing stuff up, he's going to tell him that. It's not going to be, you know, I'm not sure if you're doing that right. No, it's stop, straighten up, straighten out, get stuff done. So I invite you to watch top of the hour right here, wherever you're watching this, you can watch that as well. Footprints Forward is our show that we are working very, very hard to make a change in people's lives and get them away from suicide, walking away from suicide, walking away from self-harm, walking away from a lot of things. So sorry about that. As you can hear, we got people outside my window right now, but we will live with that. Footprints Forward airs every Monday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. We offer you to join us live, but we also play it throughout the week. And you can also go to the YouTube and you can find every show that we've recorded. But this is where Mrs. Chicky Halt comes in, because what she has done is she is helping us out. And now you can go on every Tuesday afternoon to beinspiredradio.net, and you get to listen to our shows in a loop. I want to thank Chicky for doing this. She didn't have to do this, but she loves our mission. She loves being part of what we're doing. And we want to thank beinspiredradio.net for supporting what we're doing. I also want to thank Support Things Network on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Twitch. That's the one that I was thinking of. It's like, I know they got one that I don't have yet, and that's Twitch. So they're going to be on, we're on there with them as well. And we're able to also share our stories with them. Thank you very much, Jeremy. You're a dear, dear friend. And I love the hell out of you for allowing us to do it. So please check out Things Network. If you like the paranormal, if you like a little spooky, if you like a lot fun, lot interesting, check them out. One of the people who are constantly there, the gentleman that you watched right before me, Mr. Nick Muley. Very intelligent, very insightful, great show. Love Nick. So, but please check him out. Things Network, THINGS Network. Okay, well, as I warned you, we are going to get a little bit of governmental right now, not much, and we're not talking about what's going on in Florida. Even though this is going on in Florida, but it's going on everywhere else. The government came to a compromise. I'm going to pause as everyone takes in a deep breath going, what? In this compromise, though, there are programs that are going to end. One of those programs that I don't have a complete verification of this yet, but I'm going to imagine one of the programs that is going to end up being cut short is going to be the employee retention program. Okay, look, here's the fact. You're going to hear from one of my partners who performs these wonderful programs, Michael Latone. We do have a couple of these programs, and I just beg you to check them out before you check out all these high-priced television blowhards who really don't know anything about your company. They just want your business. If you go through the Community Pay It Forward program, you know what? You not only get your business, help your business, but you're also going to be helping a lot of people in return, because every single one of them is going to give us a referral. That referral becomes a donation. Michael Latone is one of them. Just go on to communitypayitforward.us and you can find employee retention programs, and you're going to find out Larry. You can find Michael, and you can find a couple other people that are on there. So, but this is a conversation I had just a couple weeks ago with Michael Latone, and this is back when the debt ceiling was still up in the air. Okay, and here's the warning, folks. Remember, this debt ceiling is only good until October, November. Okay, so let's not thank them too much yet, because they really haven't done a whole hell of a lot yet. Okay, they've basically agreed, okay, we're not going to screw anybody right today, but we're not going to go so far as to say we're not going to. But one of the programs that I'd imagine they're probably going to be looking at getting rid of is the the employee retention program. Why? Because there's still money on the table. Okay, there's still money on the table. This is where you come in. This is your money that you deserved. If you stayed in business during this pandemic, that's your money. You worked your butt off to make sure that your employees were safe. 10-minute phone call, you can get upwards of 20,000 plus per employee. Is it guarantee? No, it's not a guarantee. What is a guarantee is if you don't get money, you don't pay money. Okay? And you don't pay anything until you get paid. So check it out. Again, this is an interview I did with Mr. Michael Latone from Chicago. Michael's been with the program a little over a year now. Really, really good guy. And I'm proud to bring this one back. Just make sure, please, and I'm going to say this again, make sure that you check out. Look, if you're a business owner, you've got to do this. No matter what your bookkeeper said, no matter what anybody else has said, call. Just call. It's a 10-minute call. But that 10-minute call could keep you in business for a while. That 10-minute call could be this vacation that you so badly need right now, because we've went through 2.5 years of hell in the business world. In the world, we went through 2.5 years of hell. Okay? Who doesn't want a vacation? But this is also money that you can take and you can really pay your employees back and say, hey, you know what? You guys got out here. You guys busted your ass every day. You guys did your job when others weren't allowed to. You kept me running. Do something nice for them. It doesn't matter what you do with that money, because it's your money, and it's money that you earned because you kept going. So this is my friend Michael Latone. Please enjoy this. And as you can see, it's about 16 minutes long. We'll be back to shut the show down and call it a Hey, everybody. I'm here with a great friend, great partner. You guys have seen him before. Michael, this is like the third time that you've joined us. ERTC, right?
That's right.
It's coming to an end.
Yeah, it's coming to an end in the first quarter of next year. And then you can only go back 3 years to actually modify your tax return, and that's what they have to do. Okay, so in the first quarter of next year, which would be 2023, 2020 will fall off the map. And the first quarter of the following year, 2025, 2021 will fall off. But we don't know. They might extend it. They're always kind of massaging it, but that's how it stands right now. It's still going strong. We still have plenty of funds in there. And I want to reach out to as many people as possible to get them to cash in on that ERTC funding.
You are right now, you've decided to make a little bit of a change, because as you and I just talked about before we started recording, you're getting those same phone calls that I'm getting, that, you know what, your business is available, you know, you can get this $26,000, in which, no, my business can't. And so people are getting those phone calls. Mike, let me ask you this question. Do you think that's kind of scaring people away from it? Because
Absolutely.
it sounds like a scam.
Yeah, right. Anytime somebody calls you and says the government is going to give you free money, it just raises all kind of red flags. How about that? How many times has that happened to you? You know, when you get a call or you come home and your mom's on this YouTube channel and they got her listening to this thing for 45 freaking minutes. And at the end of it, they want her to spend $69 a month for something that's gonna, you know, help your incontinence or something,
Yep.
or whatever, or improve your cholesterol. And they got all these stories, and it's like, please don't do that, because they're gonna want money by the end of this thing. And it's just like that, but it's crammed into a little voicemail. Hello, it's Abby. I'm sorry I missed you, but I did call yesterday, and and you qualify for up to 26,000 for each employee, but we need to talk soon. So give me a call. Here's the number.
Yep.
Oh
Yep.
my God.
We've
They don't
been
know.
trying to get a hold of you for weeks now. We're running out of time to get you this $26,000. And I'm like going, oh, all right.
Every time you turn around, you hear someone talking about it. The thing that I do different is I work with a local attorney, and he has a team of attorneys that are assigned to each client, and a CPA team that does one thing and one thing only, ERTC benefits. And the advantage of that is that we can dig down deeper than some other CPA or accountant department and find out, how we can make this work. For example, let's say a guy bought a business in January of 2022. He didn't even own it during the COVID years. We can go back to that previous owner and have him refile his taxes with us, and they would split that 500,000 or whatever it is they're getting out of the deal. So we can kind of do some more things that other companies can. Not to say that happens all the time, but this is the thing with a regular CPA and an accountant department. Those guys are not experts in ERTC funding.
We're getting a lot of notifications here in Colorado about 20-year restaurant closing because they could not make it after COVID. These are the kind of people that need to call you immediately, because this is something that could get them that expendable cash that can lift them back up and get them back to where they need to be.
Absolutely. This is free money that's available to anybody that had the slightest bit of struggle over 2020 or 2021 due to COVID. They don't have to have a 50% loss in business compared to 2019 or a 20% loss in 2022. They could have made more money. And if they had a partial shutdown that was mandated by any government agency, boom, automatic qualification. Yeah. And it's a lot easier now than when it was. And even if they had to shift their sales force around, spend some money on cleaning supplies, or maybe pivot their business because they couldn't get parts to make their widgets or whatever it was, there's 3 different categories. And what I've made available to people now is a really simple green light, red light spreadsheet. So you put in your earnings for those 3 years, and if it's good, it'll light up green. And then you go down the bottom, and if you had a green button there, it'll be a partial shutdown, but one would be because if they did PPP, they can still file for ERTC, which a lot of people still don't know, but yes, you can, and it's not a problem. It might take away from the maximum amount of ERC of 26,000 per W-2 employee, might be 10, 11, 12, but hey, that's $10,000 for each W-2 that you don't have to pay back.
You mean I wouldn't get 26,000? I'm not going to do it. 10,000. Who the hell needs $10,000?
Yeah, right. That's right. That's right.
This is not a loan.
No. This is like a tax refund. This is like money that's coming back to them. They call it a payroll tax credit. They call it a bunch of different things. It's almost like a PPP, but at the time, in March of 2020, you had to choose PPP or ERC. All right. And people are stuck with that in their head because that's when they did this last thing was maybe 1 or 2 revs of PPPs. Fine. But now you can do both. And a lot of people still don't realize that they can do ERC. And there's a lot more money in there that was still available to people, and they open it up for everybody. Supply chain issues is one thing, but you just try to think about, what companies did good and didn't have any effect of COVID. And you have a hard time coming up with a company like that. So most everybody is going to qualify. That's what I'm getting at.
Yeah, and you brought up the supply chain issue. No matter what you did, no matter if you were deemed an essential business, you still had issues getting stuff in to fulfill your needs. So that is something that really works on this. And this is the IRS actually doing something, and hold on to your hat. This is the IRS doing something good. Okay. This is IRS saying, you know what, you did good. You kept your W-2 employees. Let's help you out. There are a couple drawbacks. It has to be W-2 employees.
That's right. Right. It has to be a U.S. based employer that has W-2 employees. And if it's a family owned business, it cannot be any of the family members that count as an official W-2. So it has to be other W-2, which is usually not a problem. You know, maybe you have 2 or 3 people or whatever that are, you know, associated with the family. Everybody else would count. And now the other thing you can think about is full-time versus part-time. So if they're full-time, we can go all the way up to 500 W-2 employees. Okay. So I would love to have a nonprofit that's listening to us right now with 499 W-2 employees. Give us a call. We'll get it going and we'll send everybody to Hawaii for a week. How's that?
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yeah, they can come and sit on your balcony with you right there, right?
That's right.
So,
That's all right. Hey, where's my drink? Hey, what's wrong with this?
so, and then you, like I said, you were going for a shift. You really want to start helping out a lot of the nonprofits, because a lot of the nonprofits, you know, nonprofits suffer just as much as everybody else. Nobody had the money to donate, so they did suffer. There were a lot of layoffs there. But you're also looking to try to help veteran organizations.
Right. Yeah, there are these groups of people that I think have been neglected as far as what kinds of funds are available to them just for simply applying. And I think veterans is an awesome group that has businesses just like anyone else that need to be supplemented by these funds that are available from the IRS. And let's face it, if you go to any CPA or accounting department and you start throwing around ERTC, this is what they're going to do. They go, we did PPP. I don't think we qualify. I think we're good. And then the guy's going to come back again and goes, I got a guy that says he can do ERTC for us. What do you think? He goes, well, to be honest with you, I really don't know anything about it. I don't know the first thing about applying, and I don't want to know because it's only going to be around 3 years. And after that, it's gone. I'm busy doing what I need to be doing. You got a guy, go ahead and talk to him, and maybe he can get it done. So this is the conversations that we have. So even if they've heard about it, they might not know how to apply. Supposedly it's like a 350-page manual that they got to learn to be able to do it. Not every CPA or accounting department can do it or do it right. That's the whole thing. You want to maximize this thing. You don't want it to have to come back in their face. And all of a sudden they got $250,000 out of ERC, and a year and a half later they want it back. No, that's not going to happen. That's with us. We have an attorney involved, so he puts his name on it, and if that happens, he'll go and audit it and make sure that they don't have to worry about those kind of things. So yeah, veteran-owned companies would be awesome. They should know about this, and if not, they should call me. We set up a 5-10 minute call with my attorney, and then they get a portal assigned to them where they upload their P&Ls, their 941s. They give them a letter of the PPP loan that was relieved, so they don't have to pay that back, and they're done. And then he'll crunch the numbers, and in 3 to 5 days, he'll tell them, I got $380,000 for you guys. What do you want to do? Yeah, let's do it. You wait maybe 6 months or so. It does take a little time for the IRS to pay out that money. They pay a 20% admin fee, which is standard now for ERTC, but nobody gets paid until they get the money. That's the big thing. And if we don't get any money, it doesn't cost them a dime.
Well, I think this is a wonderful program. And Mike, how do people get a hold of you?
Yeah, they can give me a text at 847-903-8061. That's probably the best way. My phone is always available. Or if they want to email me, I'll give you the real easy one. It's just mikelatone@gmail.com. MikeLatone@gmail.com. Or 847-903-8061.
And you're not afraid to go on ahead and take on regular businesses as well?
No. For-profits, nonprofits, anybody that had a little bit of a struggle over COVID needs to give ERTC funding a chance to come up with some good money. I mean, up to $26,000 per employee. If they didn't do PPP, that's the maximum that they can get. If they did, they're still going to get 10, 12, 15,000. I had a guy that owned a garage repair shop here in the Midwest of Chicago. I think it was the Schaumburg area. I'm out in the northwest suburb, Barrington, 20 miles out from Chicago. But we went to a network event, and he's like, I don't know if is this legit. I go, absolutely. I go, send me what you got. He had 10 employees. I think 2 of them were family, so he had 8 employees. I got him $160,000 with 8 employees. And you know what? There was only 1 quarter from 2020 and 2021 that he took a hit as compared to 2019. So, everybody should apply. That's what it shows you right there. I thought maybe we're going to get 100 grand. We almost got 200 grand for him. And he actually did better during most of the quarters after 2019. So you just need to apply and crunch the numbers. But, they did some things to rearrange their business to get through COVID, but it wasn't like catastrophic, but he's going to get $165,000. Yeah.
Well, and now, and just to let you guys know this, Michael is joining us. This is his 2nd year with us here at Community Pay It Forward. And so think about this. If you know somebody who struggled during COVID, a business owner who struggled during COVID, you could say, hey, look, 10-minute phone call, we could get you up towards 26,000 plus we can help somebody in need. All we need to do is contact Michael Latone. So, Mike, one more time, your phone number to send a text to?
Sure. 847-903-8061.
All right. That's Michael Latone. Hey, look, don't leave the money on the table. Look, the government, okay? If you don't get that money, that money's going to go somewhere, and it's not going to be where you want it to go. So let's make sure that all these small businesses, if you struggled at all, if you know somebody who struggled, convince them. It's 10 minutes. It doesn't cost anything. It's not a scam. This is true. This is available to them. 5 businesses with W-2 employees, nonprofits, veterans. Come on, let's get this going. Let's make sure that you get the money that you deserve.
Don't leave that money on the table, because it's a 10-minute call, literally. And don't be fooled by all these people advertising on the radio and leaving messages on your phone. You don't know where they're coming from. They don't know the first thing about your business. They just want to make some commission on whatever it is they're going to get. They could care less if it's a maximum amount or if it's a minimal amount or what they need to do to get that done. You don't want to get involved with those people. You got to work with us, because we're professional. I have an attorney. No one else has an attorney they work with. They work with an accounting department or a CPA that's been doing this because it's a little extra money. But we dig down deep and maximize that benefit. And that's what you need to do, because you're only going to do this once. You're only going to do it once, and then it's gone.
Yep. Very seldomly do you get a recorded message on your phone that's a good deal. So, so why fall for that? Let's talk to somebody and let's do some good for people. On the flip-flop, as the young people say, the kids nowadays. So, Michael,
that's right.
I appreciate it, brother. Thank you very much. And we will do our best to keep working and getting some people to come your way. So thank you very much, my friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Have a good one.
No problem.
Do kids actually say anything about the flip-flop? I don't know. But the one thing that they are going to say is, hey, you know what? If you can give me $26,000 for free, I'll take it. Well, I don't know if they're going to say it, but I'll tell you right now, I don't know a business owner who couldn't use an extra $26,000. I got excited when I was watching that video because I was looking for the hat that was in the background of that video. I guess I moved it since then because it's not back there no more. So, once again, this is one of the programs that is potentially going to be leaving. Regardless if it's leaving now, or as Michael said, the first quarter of next year, it's going away because time's expiring. But I'm going to say it, and I'm just going to say it plainly. Don't press your luck. get in, make that phone call. It's a quick phone call. Just make the quick phone call and let's go from there. All right. See if we can help you. If we can help you, we can help other people. Look, it's a win-win-win situation. All you got to do is call Mike and we can get some fantastic things done.
Attention business owners, this is your captain speaking. Fasten your seatbelts as we prepare your business to take off. Hi, I'm Joe, your captain of online reviews. Give me a thumbs up if your reputation is important to your business success. Excellent, thank you, and welcome on board. Today, online reviews tell your prospects about the quality of services that you provide. As a matter of fact, online reviews are the new word-of-mouth advertising, so if you don't have a flight plan in place to get 5-star reviews, your reputation could be hijacked by one bad review, crashing your business. So what we do is we put you in the cockpit with our automation called Give Me a Thumbs Up. Our technology can actually predict whether your clients will write a good review or a bad review before we even ask them. So if you'd like to learn more about this technology, book your flight with Captain Joe today so that tomorrow you can sit back, relax, and watch your 5-star business take off.
That's all the time we have for tonight, folks. Thank you very much for joining us. We will be back next Wednesday with a new show. It'll be the second installment of the June wine show, bringing back Tyreek, who has now become a regular on the channel, which is great, man. He's got a wonderful word to spread. Speaking of Tyreek, you can visit with him and Michael as they show how important friendships can be to saving lives here in about a little less than 2 minutes, right here, wherever you're watching. I want to please make sure, and especially during this time right now, folks, I'm just gonna say it, okay? Stuff went down. You either agree with it or you disagree with it, but the thing is, it doesn't matter. You don't have to be crappy to other people. You don't. Let's take care of each other. We're all we got. Okay? Please love somebody out there. Somebody out here loves you. If you're not helping someone, you're hurting everyone, because nobody needs to go alone when we all come together. I'll see you next week.
Stepping out of her fear, bring me home. Out alone to show me the way. You wanna be a part of Sunset Boulevard.